Hope everyone's having a good time at Rose City Comic-Con!
Oh yeah, come on, you gotta love that. This next panel I am so excited to introduce to you, and as I enjoyed doing yesterday, I'm gonna turn it over to you guys. It's not about me asking all kinds of questions. You paid admission to get in here. You should have a chance to talk to these folks. I will ask that you do one-part question. If you're like, hey, I've got like a 4-part, I can't keep track, and neither can they. But you are welcome to queue up again. I want to get as many of you on the mics as possible. You see mics over there and mics over there, that's where you want to queue up. And now, by the way, my name's Stephanie Strickland. Hi. Hi! Oh, you guys are going to be the best. I can tell already. Let's bring them out one at a time. Give it up for Zach Callison. Olivia Olson. William Salyers. And Veronica Taylor. Oh, look at you, already in line. You make this work. I like it, you guys. So guess what? You get to start with the first question. Take it away.
For Zach, I think, yeah. Okay, I forgot your name, sorry.
All good. You can call me Steven if you want. I answer to that.
Yay, Steven! Would you be willing to do at least a little bit of Giant Woman?
Just a little bit, because I can't remember all of it, which is really bad.
I just like the Giant Woman bit.
Cool.
All I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman, a giant woman.
Yay, thank you!
Let's go over here. Go ahead.
If Steven fused with the gems, what do you think they would look like, Zach?
Really, really cool. I have my fingers crossed to see that one day. I would love that.
That's very cute. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. I have heard and enjoyed all of your work, and this is a question for all of you. I'm an aspiring actor, so I was wondering what class you might have taken, or what talent you might have, or even one particular choice in your life that you made, just that you feel most contributed to your success.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Great question. Each one of you, please.
Well, I would say that one of my favorite acting coaches, acting teachers said, if there's anything you can do other than be an actor, do that. Because being an actor or anyone who is a freelancer or in the arts in any way, it's a really difficult life. You never know if you're going to be working. So you have to really love what you do. So I would say that's the biggest piece of advice I could give you.
Yeah, and I would say listen to Veronica. No, it's absolutely true. I've been acting since I was 15. Sometimes I made money, sometimes I didn't. I like to joke that I started making a living acting as soon as I quit insisting my whole body be involved. But yeah, it's true. I mean, the reason to do it is because you love it. And if you love it, it will sustain you. If you want to do it for fame or fortune, good luck with that.
As far as voice acting goes, Tom Kenny said the best piece of advice to me when I was feeling a little down and out, because I work with these crazy talented voice actors and I just didn't feel like I was on the level, and he said, just be weirder, 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 weirder. And he's like, you can always dial it down, but you have to crank it up, and then that's where the magic happens.
That was a great question.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Over.
One more.
You know what? I had to disappear backstage for a quick second, so I missed that. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. It's all you.
Well, going off of what Veronica said, you absolutely have to love what you do, and I subscribe to the theory that you have to be a little bit crazy to want to do this, because it's not easy, it's difficult, and the stuff that comes out of your mouth behind the mic, I mean, it's a little bit mad sometimes. So just don't be afraid to be a little bit crazy, and that will take you a very long way.
Thank you.
I want to know, because since you answered the question last, I remember you talking about how when you're voicing, your whole body is in this. What people see is the animation and the final product that comes out in your voice. Do all of you guys do that? Is that like industries? Is it a room full of people flailing about while they? I mean, that's got to be a great set to work on.
We're all actors, so you are acting, and it's hard to just be a big character with just a little bit coming out of your mouth. So it's full body, full breathing. It's just that all you know is the sound that comes out. But it's produced from your whole body.
Yeah, I don't think we really draw a distinction between voice acting and acting. We're acting in front of a mic.
Ooh. Our sound guy, Robert, gets so mad because I'm always jingling. like fashion over function all the time. And I always come in with like bracelets on or a necklace, and he's like, you're being mic'd every day you come into work. Why do you wear this stuff? I'm like, because it's cute. And then I just have to end up taking it all off, and he's like sitting there waiting like, okay, come on. So you definitely use every punch you hear is like,
I have a story kind of related to that, actually. The very first record we had for after Steven got picked up, it was the Gem Glow. No, Laser Light Cannon was the episode we were recording. And I came in, and I wanted to look nice and dress to impress, so I had this nice brown button-up shirt on. The problem was, as soon as I started doing the whole flailing thing in front of the mic, it was like, I mean, you hear that. It's the same thing, but the mic's super sensitive, and I'm flailing about and making all this noise. So basically, Robert told me that I couldn't make that noise anymore, and I had to fix it. Basically, the whole record, putting my wings out like a bird, and I did all the lines like that. And I still had to move, so I looked like I was flapping the whole time. And that was my first impression of Steven Universe.
So I was just joking. You know, I'm on live TV every day. You'd think I'd have it figured out. The reason why I went back, I came out with a bracelet on this arm, and I put my mic down and went, Koo. I went, okay, I'll be right back. And I didn't want you guys to see me out here like, so that's actually funny you would talk about fashion over form. Let's go over here to a question over here.
This is for Steven. Do you have any regrets on the show Steven Universe?
Oh, man. He's getting into my psyche.
He might regret answering the question.
I wouldn't call it a regret, but one thing that I had to work around was my voice changed in the middle of the recording for the show. And there were a couple other projects that I worked on that I just couldn't do the characters anymore because I was 15 playing 8-year-olds, and my voice hadn't changed, so it sounded legitimate. But for Steven, he was more of a character, and I wasn't using my natural voice, so I was trying to figure out a way to do that. So working with the voice, I had to, because I used to go down with my voice.
When I talk at this level normally, I would talk like this and then make him sound like that, and it sounded like Steven.
But once my voice changed, if I put it down here, it sounds like man Steven, and it doesn't work anymore.
So I put it up here, and then it sounded like Steven again.
But there is a little bit of a difference, and some of the fans have messaged me on Twitter like, your voice sounds a lot different in this episode to this episode. I'm like, yeah, I know. It was something I had to work around. Puberty, it came a little late for me, and it hit very hard and fast.
But luckily it came, so, you know.
Right. I'm glad that it came and went rather than not showing up at all.
Yeah. There's other work out there, so.
Let's go over here.
Hi. Between Ash, Rigby, Marceline, and Steven, your characters are so different. I was just wondering, if you guys had to swap shows for a day, whose character would you want to voice?
Well, I'm gonna say Steven Universe right now because cast a girl, okay? My voice doesn't change.
I gotta watch my back.
Would you guys switch?
I'm actually just gonna go ahead and say Ash Ketchum because I was a Pokemon fanatic growing up. I mean, look at my shirt. I bought this yesterday. I loved it so much. I've always loved Pokemon, and Ash was like my hero growing up. So I would definitely play Ash for a day.
You could, yeah, I'd let you.
I'll allow it.
I would go on Pokemon too, but I would want to play Jigglypuff because when I was a kid, I was telling somebody over at the table who asked, "What's your favorite Pokemon?" I used to terrify my parents by going, Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff. I'd like hide in the closet and do that.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy. I would probably take your job because you're on one of the few shows that's weirder than mine.
Thank you. Well, hello there. My question was, do you guys have any sort of ritual you do to get into your character, into the voice acting, anything like that weird sort of thing?
I drink a gallon of blood before each record.
Yes!
Woo! But she's not revealing where she gets the blood. That's I think definitely vocal warm-ups everybody does, which you might not do in front of other people.
Like what? Now that we're in front of a bunch of people, like what?
You want to stretch out the back of your tongue.
Let's get
so
everyone doing it at the same time. Teach us one.
You can tuck your tongue behind your bottom teeth, and then essentially your tongue is pressing forward.
Like this?
You know?
Yeah, let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, that. But actually,
we are hired.
For anything like that, if you're speaking in front of people, you're doing something for school, you can do a quick warm up like that, and also, you know, all along, and that helps to warm everything up and get you going. Little tip there.
My favorite one is the that one
really
always seems to
Yeah.
wake me up in the morning when my voice doesn't want to wake up with me.
I have one that's also terrifying.
Very good. Yeah.
Then you go back up.
These are so fun.
Yeah.
Cup of coffee and a cigarette. No. That is not true. Do not repeat that. Although, you know, I don't know what these guys are talking about. I think they just wanted to make you guys do a bunch of silly stuff. No, it's true. Like Veronica talks about, for me, it's really about the articulators. It's not that hard for me to hit Rigby, and I'm more inclined to sort of save my voice and not work out my voice per se so much before record. But I like to get the mask really warmed up so that I don't trip over, you know, words, eat word burgers. That's bad.
So is it like tongue twisters? Is that what you're referring to when you talk about trying to hit your? It's unfamiliar to me. Like Peter Piper picked up. Like, are you doing tongue twisters to warm that up as opposed to?
Like Veronica, I'm pretty much just, you know, there's a. Sorry. Bad voice actor. There was a thing that we used to do in theater where you'd squinch up your face and not make it really wide. That's something that you can do. But I mean, specifically for the mouth, as we were saying, you know, that's really good. Don't do it in front of people. And then warming up the tongue because, you know, you don't want to waste Robert's time in the booth.
And, yeah, Robert. Also, if you keep your teeth together and you go through all of your lines, you're really working on enunciation so that when you speak again, it's much more clear and your voice is forward already. So that's something that's easy to do, and it really helps you to speak more clearly.
Yeah, your April was the most articulate. I mean, you hit every single syllable and consonant like crystal.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
What were you going to say?
For some reason, every time I have a Marceline song, I have to do like Demon Marceline right before, and it completely screws up my up my singing voice because I have to go, "I'll kill you," and then they're like, "Okay, now sound pretty," and it's like you realize that I just scratched my vocal cords terribly.
It's terrible.
And I always go, "Can I please do the song first?" They're like, "Well, we have everybody here, so we like to do it at the end," and I'm like,
Great.
awesome.
Great. No one cares about you. That is why. No, but I mean it. You have to protect yourself. That's the whole thing, that no one's thinking, oh, we should do this difficult stuff later. You have to be the one to stand up for yourself. Again, in whatever you do for your profession, you have to stand up for yourself because no one's thinking about what's good for you. They're thinking about what's good for them and the schedule. And yeah.
Great question.
Thank you, guys.
Let's go over here.
Which of the voices that you can do is the most different from your natural speaking voice? For all of you.
There's a Microsoft, I think it's an Xbox One exclusive called Evolve, and I play a support character named Hank, and I'm about as large as one of his arms, and so whereas Rigby's, you know, pretty easy to get to for me.
Hank kind of talk like this, you know, he's a big old fella. He looked like he'd be riding on a motorcycle kind of guy.
So that would be the answer for me.
for the new Adventure Time game, they had a sound clip of a character that they were convinced was me, but I didn't do it. And so I kept trying to tell them, I said, that's not me. They go, well, we have you listed as the person who did the voice for this. So I had to try to match this other woman who, it was just her normal, regular speaking voice. And I felt that was really hard. It's kind of easy to do a character voice, but when you're trying to match specifically somebody else's regular speaking voice, and then I said, I told you it's not me, otherwise I'd be able to do it. And I don't think I'm going to play that character on the video game.
It's something I get auditions for actually quite a bit, to match other people's natural speaking voice, and I'm not very good at it because it's so hard to hear it. And you can match the pitch, but matching the tone is near impossible sometimes.
Right, and I try to get inside their head, like, who is this person? What do they really sound like? And
Yeah.
then how are they pitching their voice? And then I try to be them. So, yeah, it's hard.
As far as character voices go, I mean, Steven is probably the furthest from my normal voice, but from Steven, I also, whenever Onion has to do his little I do that. So that's pretty different too. Whenever he talks to his dad, I don't get to do it very often though, because he's very quiet, which makes me sad.
I think for me, probably Ash Ketchum is a little bit different from my voice. I play Amelia on Slayers, and she doesn't really sound like me. Play Sputnik. I don't really sound like this either. On Astroblast.
I like to think that most of the characters don't sound like me, but most people who come to my table when I'm saying, hey, how are you? They go, I know that character. So I don't know. I think there's a little bit of me in everything. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great question. Let's go over here.
Hello. So what was your favorite scene to ever record in one of your TV shows for all of you?
We say as an actor, I just loved actually working every scene. I like having a job.
That's a tough one because I really love what I do, and it would be hard for me to pick out a scene that I didn't enjoy. I tend to like the scenes where Rigby is being really, really jerky, because that's fun. Oddly enough, one of my favorite scenes that I can pinpoint was in a video game called Mass Effect 3. And
Whoa, you were in Mass Effect?
Morton Solus.
Oh my God. Just excuse me for a moment.
That was awesome. And I'll return the favor. The first time I ever saw this guy in real life, he was acting on stage and he was amazing. So, but yeah. So for me, it was probably Morton's death scene in Mass Effect 3 was one that really stood out to me.
It had to be me. Someone else would have gotten it wrong. It had to be me. Someone else would have gotten it wrong.
I have two that really stick out as my favorite, at least for Adventure Time. Anytime that I record with my dad, because he actually plays Hunson Abadir, so we got to do like a fight scene where we were battling. That was really fun. It was very odd, like acting and calling my dad, but it's like acting, but it's not. And the other one was when I got to do the episode Princess Day, which is where Marceline and LSP they team up and do this kind of weird, they like kidnap Breakfast Princess and tie her up and throw her in the back of her car. But usually when we're recording and LSP's in an episode, Penn might not necessarily be in the booth with us because he has a million things going on with the whole show, so he'll usually record his part afterwards. But that was the first time I got to do a scene or a whole episode with Penn, and seeing this man who in real life and generally is very reserved and quiet do that voice. And it's just, you'll never see anything better than that. And he goes like this when he does it.
That's so funny.
He like moves his hips and it's like, he turns into a different person. It's awesome.
It goes back to what we were saying about acting behind the mic. It's you got to do that stuff to get into the characters. Mm-hmm. A couple episodes with scenes that stood out to me were Steven and the Stevens is one of my favorites ever, because I mean, every Steven you see on screen, even in the end when there's 100 of them, I had to voice all of them. So I was working double time that day. And then the other one was 10,000 Birthdays, where I'm suddenly aging into teenager and then to super old man. And I had to do all the different voices. So I'm Steven for a second, and then my voice starts cracking, and I'm teenage Steven. And then I'm man Steven down here, and then I'm old and dying Steven. And it was very depressing at times. And the episode turned out to be kind of terrifying. But, it was fun to do.
Thank you.
Let's go over here.
Okay, this question is for Zach. I really enjoy singing, and when I saw your cartoon, it was one of the first ones that I really connected with. And, sorry.
You're good.
And I just wanted to know what your biggest inspiration was before you started getting into voice acting and stuff, because you're a big inspiration to me. So.
Thank you. You know, when I first got into voiceover, it was my very first session ever for a show called Adventures in Odyssey. Yeah, a few people know it. It was a radio show. It was my first VO gig that I did, and I ended up working on it for about 5 years. But my very first session, there's a guy there named Jess Harnell, who some of you might know from Animaniacs and literally every cartoon ever made. But that guy is the most positive, giving, amazing person I've ever met in my life. And we run into each other on different projects here and there in different sessions, and I see him all the time. And he's always like super genuinely excited to see me, and he's always giving me advice. And I mean, he's super successful, literally a rock star, amazing voiceover artist, and I have so much respect for him. So he's been a huge inspiration for me.
Thank you.
Go ahead, right over here.
Hi, I was wondering what is the best or funniest or weirdest line you've each had to do. I don't know, just like your favorite or something unique.
Let's see. There's been so many, because one of my favorite direction to get in the booth is make it weirder. And on Cartoon Network, we get the freedom to do that quite a lot. But the one in the teenage Steven voice I was doing a second ago, the line is, "A boy on the cusp of manhood can't spend the whole day whackering." No, I mean, I was like, I don't know how we got away with that, but that line was, it got a lot of laughs on the day.
It's hard for me to remember because there's so many that everything smooshes all together.
I did one at the booth earlier.
For me, I think it was something along the lines of, your brain is composed entirely of canine butt cheeks.
You guys have really weird shows. I think for my weirdest, I would have to say, "Hey, Pikachu. Hey, Pikachu, you did a great job. You deserve a good long rest." So, mine's very sweet. I have a nice little show. It wasn't creepy in the show, it's just creepy here. I think.
Thank you.
I guess that's just in my mind.
I know.
You know they leave like the best voicemails ever for their friends. Let's go over here.
Okay, this is a question for all of you. How do you guys feel about cosplayers bringing to life your characters?
Oh, I think it's pretty amazing. Yeah. You know, it's amazing to see people's imagination and kind of the mashup of different things. And I just love the fact that we are lucky enough to work on something that we love, and then how it affects people, and you can see the ramifications of that and kind of what people pick up on, and it's just amazing.
It would be an odd person who didn't dig that. You know, I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine that scenario where you walk up to somebody and you're like, "Oh, your dress is me. You suck." No, it's beautiful. It's creative. It's an homage. There's nothing that's not great about it.
Yeah, I love it. On Adventure Time, it's really cool too because we have the whole gender swap episodes, and I've seen, you know, guys dressed as Marceline and girls dressed as Marceline, and the whole crossplay thing. And Marceline always has different outfits too. So I saw a girl who's like, "I actually shaved my head for this cosplay." And so just seeing how creative people can get, and they really just knock it out of the park.
Yeah, what you said about the different gendered characters. For the first time, I saw a gender bent Garnet yesterday, which was really cool. But there's so many different characters, and to add like another layer where you can like change them and fuse them with other characters, there's so much variety to it. I see cosplays that I haven't seen yet pretty much every time I go to a con. Like I saw Sardonyx for the first time yesterday, and that's my favorite fusion, so I was freaking out over that one.
You know, one of the things that's cool if you don't do a lot of on-camera work. I mean, nobody really knows who I am, and it's kind of fun to get your picture taken with someone cosplaying as you without telling them that you're you.
Yes.
I've had a girl say no when I asked if I could get a picture with her when she was dressed as Marceline, and then she came over to the signing and she went, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. I kind of like stalked you down in the, I like chased her and was like, oh, it was one of the first conventions that I saw anyone dressed up as my character, so it was a big deal. And I stalked her, and I probably scared her a little bit.
Did you get your picture when she was up at the table? Did you guys?
She said no. Yeah.
Well, I know, but at that point, like when she's up there, I'll be like, I'll trade you one signature for a photo. Go ahead, right over here.
Hi, how are you guys doing today? Great. Awesome. So I just want to say you guys have been through my childhood, from Pokemon to Phineas and Ferb to regular show and then to Steven Universe. And you guys have helped me keep my inner child going and to keep pushing forward. But one of the things is that my father is actually here in the room. It's his birthday today and his first time at the con. And he really loves Rigby. And through a hard time, we bonded through regular show. I just want to say, can Rigby say something to my father? Like, anything?
Yeah, he sounds awesome. What's his name?
Gary?
Gary. Stand up, Gary. Gary, start talking!
There he is!
Ow! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Very nice. Right over here.
All right, this is a question for Zach. So you're still in school. How hard is school being while you're, sorry, I was just rehearsing this in line. I'm really nervous. I'm a big fan.
It's all good. Managing school and work?
Yeah, managing school and the show together. How do you manage to do that?
Well, I did, for high school, I did a program called Independent Study through a local high school. Basically what that allows me to do is take my work with me, and it's still the same amount of work, but I can do it in the car, on the road, during breaks, whenever I can manage it. And I would go in and meet with my teacher, and we would grade it. I would take my tests there. And that really worked as far as flexibility went, because I could take my work wherever I needed to go, and I could travel pretty freely. And I was in good graces with my teacher too, so if I needed to miss a session, she was okay with that. But that's what, because I was homeschooled since 4th grade, but doing that for high school was the best thing, because I was in school with other actors and other people who were doing the same thing that I was, so it was a good environment to be in.
Thank you.
All right, right over here.
Okay, this is a question for Zach/Steven. On your thoughts for the relationship of Connie and Steven, do you think of it as a friendship or a relationship? I'm very curious because it's so cute.
At this point, as far as I know, I would say friendship. If it is not anything, if it's more than a friendship, that's out of my hands. That's up to Rebecca and her brain trust.
But Connie's really cool.
Thanks.
Greg and Rose is my OTP, if anyone was wondering.
Hell yeah.
Right over here.
Afternoon, guys. All right, so you voiced so many wonderful characters. I have to ask, if you had to voice anyone other than the characters you were assigned, who would it be?
Do you mean one that exists right now? Do you mean
Sure.
like should we be taking over someone else's job, or do you mean a character that has yet to be voiced?
Actually, yeah, let's do yet to be voiced. That sounds interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you know what? I would just want to play Doctor Who. Actually, that's what I want.
Oh yes.
So, I want to be either a male or female Doctor Who. Let's go animated. How about that?
Very
And
nice.
I'll take you as my companion. Or both of you.
Sorry.
Or sorry.
I think since we've already established it's okay to talk about extant characters, I would like to voice probably the Joker in the Batman series. Now, except for the fact that Mark is too freakishly brilliant in that part. So.
Somebody not gothic or with an evil dad. It's really open to interpretation.
As you saw earlier, I am a bit of a science fiction nerd. So probably anyone in the Star Wars universe or the Mass Effect universe, because those are my two favorite sci-fi franchises. So yeah, in either of those, I would be over the moon.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
That's a good question. I got to meet them. Like, who would I mean, I'm not a voice actor or an actor of any sort. Who would I pick? Go ahead, over here.
Hi, first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming. It's a real honor to see you all. I've grown up watching all of your shows, and it's kind of strange to see you guys not as the animated characters, but hearing your voices. So I'm curious how it felt for you guys when you heard your voices coming out of an animated character for the first time.
Annoying. Like, honestly, have you ever recorded yourself and then heard it back and you're like, wow, I am annoying. It's true though. I don't like it if it's on, because I binge watch Adventure Time. I love the show, but anytime a Marceline episode comes on, I'm like, okay, let's skip this one, because I've seen it, because at first I was like so excited to do it, but now it's like I don't want to watch it anymore.
It's weird because, I mean, whenever I do acting on camera and I see myself, I'm like, ugh, no. But with Steven, because it's so different from my normal voice, sometimes I nitpick myself, but I can generally watch the show as a fan and still enjoy it, which is nice because I really do love the show, just watching it. But because it's not my natural voice, because I have done other voiceover things where it was my natural voice, and I couldn't bear to watch it because it was, like you said, annoying.
Yeah, that is also like such a thing too. Like if I sit there and I watch it, I'm like, oh, I should have done that differently, or I wish I delivered that in a different way. So you don't want to like watch too much of it, otherwise you'll end up beating yourself up.
I think one interesting thing too, when I've worked on a lot of things that are dubbed, but I've only seen my lines. So watching the show as a whole is interesting because I didn't know what happened when I wasn't in that scene. So I can kind of watch it as an audience member and go, oh, I see now how that all fits together. Also, other shows which are pre-laid that you voice first and they're drawn later, I always think it's pretty interesting to find out what they look like and then see what the scene was really all about. At least when you're working with other people, you have an idea of the story as a whole. But it's neat to see it put together. I work on a show called Mophie, and it's all done in cotton, stop action, and it's one of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen. And then to see, oh my God, is that what they've done with it? It's so amazing. So I do like that part of it.
Yeah, my first time going through that was also a three-dimensional character in a show called Moral Oral, which was on Adult Swim. Oh my God, I love you all. Because, we got 3 seasons and then we're canceled for being too dark, whatever. Oh, Thank you. Yeah, right? But so I was cast after the first season was already recorded. So I came in and I did, my character Reverend Putty was in 8 of the 10 first episodes. And so I went into the booth, recorded 8 episodes worth of dialogue with just the directors there, and then took off to go do summer stock in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And the day, yes, it's wonderful. And then the day came when I turned on the TV and there was this little doll walking around with my voice. And it was such a Twilight Zone moment, And I think more so because it was 3-dimensional, it was even weirder because it's like, okay, that's a thing in real space and it's talking like me. So yeah, it's really weird.
Thank you so much.
Let's go over here.
All right. First off, thanks for the time today. And second, this is for all of you. Who do you ship on your shows?
Who do you see yourself paired with? When you're shipping, man, it's like, who do you want to date?
As I said, Rose and Greg.
I would say most of the characters I play are young, like Ash Ketchum is 10. I really don't see him dating anyone. I hate to disappoint you, but no one.
It's fine.
Yeah, but Ash is pretty independent as a character, right? Like his mom's like, bye.
Yeah, but he's. Yeah.
So I'm just, what's possible?
She's concerned.
Yeah, you were 10
she
years
said,
old.
"Did you pack your underwear?"
They talk
yes.
like every 10 episodes or something.
That's right. Whatever.
Ash, you're 10 years old. It's time to go out into the world.
Yeah, but not date. Just follow your goals. My son.
I have the opposite problem with Marceline because she's old. So every kind of guy that is in the universe of Ooh is, she precedes them by at least like 700 years. So I see her with no one. She's kind of riding solo chick. I ship Vanessa Doofenshmirtz and Monty Monogram.
Well, first of all, I have to say that I'm a happily married man.
The only thing you ship is FedEx.
Yes, exactly. Why didn't I think of that? That's a good line. But Rigby is romantically involved with Eileen, and Eileen is pretty awesome and pretty smart, and actually reminds me a lot of my wife. So I would.
Nice.
It's true. It's true. So yeah, it's safe and true. But yeah, so I would say Eileen.
Thank you.
Right over here.
Okay. First off, Stephanie, you look great today.
Okay,
that's what I said.
Just a minute. I need one moment.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great outfit.
Also, this question is for Ms. Taylor. It's super weird because I'm talking to the person that narrates the voice inside of my head. And so I was just wondering if you have an episode of Pokemon in particular that you have voiced, that you have kind of a strong emotional connection with, if it was something that you're going through personally or professionally through your career.
I was gonna say it's this journey we're on. That's the most important thing. But you have such a nice question that I shouldn't make a joke like that. I think.
I appreciate that.
Honestly, playing Ash for 8 years did change my life. It affected me quite deeply to play someone who's so energetic and positive. It taught me a lot about the power of positivity, about the importance of friendship and working together. I love the fact that on that show we could have such real moments, like setting Butterfree free. Where,
oh my
gosh!
But don't do that.
But I mean,
I'm gonna tremble.
Hold him up. But you know that we can watch a cartoon, but experience things that we experience in real life and find a way to travel through that. So I don't think there's exactly one part of the show that was really exactly like my life, but I think a lot of it was my life, as it was all of us watching it. And I think it was amazing to have the opportunity to be so real in a cartoon that was so not real. Right. I would never let my daughter go on a journey with a backpack, with underwear and no money. Like who would do that with some strange electric thing that was that he had to wear rubber gloves to carry to leave at home. And yet she said, all right, see you later. So that's not really my life, but the journey is. And I think too, am I going blind?
Beats
but the
me.
fact that we all now meet and can talk about it has been an extraordinary part of that journey that I never expected.
And thank you for playing.
I guess that was the right answer.
Yeah.
I think that was mood lighting.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you for playing such an important role in my life, even though I don't know you personally. Just thank you very much. And I would love to get a picture with you later, maybe?
I'm downstairs.
And
We're
Stephanie?
all at our booth downstairs, so.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. On that note, do we have to cruise quickly through answers right now?
You still have, I hate to say it, you're not going to get to everyone, so we have about 10 minutes left in the panel. I'll give you guys
okay.
But someone in the back just leaned up against the wall and went, oh God. All right, let's go over here.
Hi. I want to first say that I love all of your shows. They make me so happy in a way.
Thank you. In a way. Like, no, yeah.
Halfway happy.
Anyway, sorry.
So my question is, since all of you have songs in your shows, which one of the songs is your favorite?
You remember song. I don't remember anything.
You know, it's not even my song, but "Stronger Than You" is. You can't go wrong with that. It's freaking Estelle. I mean, she is amazingly talented, amazing human being, and that song was written so beautifully. So that is my pick.
Bacon pancakes.
Probably, I mean, one of the first times that we really hit it with one of the chants or the raps on the show was The Power. Yeah.
Using the power in your face, sending you back into your place. Don't look at our crotches while we synchronize our watches.
So I like that one.
We did the Pokemon Christmas Bash album. That's got to be my favorite. That's kicking it old school. Yeah.
I'm partial to the Poke Rap myself.
Ooh, yeah. I didn't get to sing that, but I sang it at home. Watching the show.
We all did.
Yeah, I know. We all did.
That was a great question. Thank you. Let's go over here.
This is for Ash, and I was wondering if Pikachu was ever going to evolve to Raichu.
I guess Ash would say, I guess Pikachu will evolve when it feels like it. But I
Okay.
kind of like it the way it is.
Okay.
But I think as a parent, you can't force your child to do anything. So I think we've all learned that with Pikachu.
Let's go over here.
Zach, I gotta say, I really love your Steven voice. It's, I don't even know how to describe it, man. I mean, seriously.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
I probably, this probably wasn't the most productive question. I mean, I probably waited like, seriously, what is this? I mean, come, for the love of God. But
45 minutes.
yeah, apparently. Wait, no, 41 to 15 seconds. Okay, but first, okay, this isn't really a question, but can you do something for me?
Maybe.
Okay, I would like you to say, if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs in your Steven voice.
All right.
If every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
You know, like I said, whenever in the studio they say to get weird, that was one of the lines I said, make this one weird. I'm like, all right then.
It's already weird. And yet so true.
Let's go over here.
Good advice.
So this one was originally going to be directed at Zach, but I kind of want to ask Olivia now after she's sang the Jigglypuff song. So for Zach, if Steven were a Pokemon trainer, who would be his starter? And for Olivia, if Vanessa were a Pokemon trainer, who would be her starter?
You know, I don't know why it's jumping out in my mind, but Totodile seems very appropriate. And fun fact, that was actually my first starter because I got Pokemon Gold way back when, and I had a really cool Croconaw, so or for Alligator, so that would be my pick. He seems very very wild and free like Steven. So.
I would turn Perry the Platypus into a Pokemon and start him.
We have about 5 minutes left. Just to let you know, let's go over here.
Okay, so I just want to say that I love all of your guys' show like a lot. And so my little brother and sister, their names are Adelaide and Weston. They couldn't be here, so I was wondering if like you guys could say in character like hi to them because they like really like your shows too.
And it was Adelaide, did you say?
Adelaide and Weston.
Adelaide and Weston.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Adelaide and Weston. Wish you were here.
Hey, Adelaide and Weston, it's Marceline. What's up, what's up?
Hey, Adelaide and Weston, it's Steven!
Adelaide, Weston, what's up? Why aren't you here, dudes?
Thank you guys so much.
Right over here.
First of all, I love all of you. You're amazing people. I love the characters that you play and the shows. And I would really like to know your opinions on the character development that happened in your shows. Like, your characters have really gone from very two-dimensional to almost like real people, like people you meet in a dream. What do you think of that?
Interesting. Do you guys want to start?
Steven, I mean, it's very much he's coming of age as the show goes on. He's at the beginning, the gems treat him like a child because he is, and he can't go on the missions with them, and he has no powers. And the powers he gains as the show goes on kind of represent him growing up and becoming adult and taking on responsibility, going on missions with the gems. And it's the story of him growing up while all this other crazy stuff is happening, I think, and that's very fun to play. And I mean, I'm growing up at the same time, so it's a fun dynamic.
I recently got to experience something out of this world with Marceline. I co-wrote a book, the new Adventure Time novel that's coming out, and it's a two-parter. So the first half is the Enchiridion, second half is Marceline's journal. And so I wrote the Marceline part, and it was really interesting, and I can't even believe that they let me do this task, but just being able to write her thoughts and feelings down from her perspective, but my perspective, and getting to write a little bit of her backstory and the fact that Penn Ward liked it and used it was really cool, and it definitely connected me to the character like so much.
First of all, that's a great question. That's a really smart question. Yeah, I like the fact that Rigby was sort of like almost the annoying little brother to Mordecai when the show started, and since then, they've been writing him towards a more sort of a mature outlook. The fact that it just kind of slips out that he's dating Eileen, he doesn't make a big deal out of it, while Mordecai's freaking out about the women in his life. You know, I really appreciate the fact that they're letting the character evolve, and I think that's the only way you can keep a show on the air and keep it fresh.
I think, too, Ash is similar to these characters in that he stays 10, but at the same time, he matures, and he learns how to deal with defeat, too much, unfortunately, but also how to be a better person and, work with others. So I think he matures even though he stays 10, like we all do.
This will be the last question coming from over here.
Hi, my name is Noah, and you guys are all beautiful people.
Thank you.
This one's for Olivia. How did you react when they told you that Chloe was gonna die in Life is Strange?
Wait, what? What?
Never mind, sorry, wrong person.
Okay, we're gonna take one more. Let's go over here. You're up.
Wait, what was that though? Who's Chloe? No?
Go ahead.
I'm incredibly afraid of talking to on stage. Does anyone know how to deal with that?
What, are you just talking in front of your class, or
anything
in general?
Public speaking?
Yeah, public speaking. I think breath control is something. I think all of us suffer from that. But also being able to focus on the importance of what you have to say, that helps. Because ultimately everyone wants to hear your message because it is important, and what you're reading or what you're speaking about is important. So to focus on that and being in that moment and not about the nerves, don't let that get to you. Just really take a deep breath and focus on what you have to say.
I still get nervous, so thank you for that.
I was always a nerdy little actor boy. I basically I used to play pretend, and I never stopped. And it's just sort of segued into acting. And for me, it's helpful to always remember that you're playing a sort of part, even if you're just addressing your class. You're in a role. If it helps you to feel like they're not really looking at you, they're looking at the person, the presenter, the hero, or whatever, that can sometimes make you feel more at ease addressing a large group of people.
Friends.
Guys, I'm going to... go ahead. You look like you're ready to jump up.
Yeah, one of the things I had a bad habit of doing for a long time, not just in public speaking, but reading lines at all, was I used to rush through things. Especially when I was nervous, I would speed up. And the breath control thing that you said, it's take a deep breath, slow down, keep the pace at a good clip, and that'll help everything come on its own if you're slowing down and just relaxing in what you have to say.
And also do the closed teeth. Read through your whole piece like this, and that'll help you focus a little
Or imagine everyone in their underwear. That's what they always say. I don't know, that doesn't make me feel relaxed. Though. You guys look great, though, all with your clothes on.
And on that awesome note, guys, let's all have a group photo because I can. Pile in. Look right in here, please. I want to see everyone's face. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, I love this. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, gosh. Give it up. Give it up.
Thank you all. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome panel.